It's Jess. Welcome back to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, we are diving into season 2, episode 8 of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. We have to once again have a come to Jesus moment about Bria. Bria has not been my favorite for a number of reasons, and this episode really solidified a lot. So the party is winding down. This episode starts back with the party winding down, and Bria and Simon are still going at it. And the whole time I'm watching, they are drunk, so they're harping on this flamingo costume. And I'm like, this is about something more. This is about something deeper. I don't know what it is, but something more is taking place here. Amir's drunk, hungover ass decides that he wants to play Dr. Phil and Ian Levin's aunt. He was just doing the most, like, as if his relationship is going swell. And it's like, honey, first of all, even the way that you're instructing them on how to handle each other is so reflective of the fact that Natalie just has you on the shortest leash. You don't seem safe in your relationship. You seem like you need to blink twice because you do actually need help. So for you to be trying to relate to anybody about their relationship, comical, Amir, because you and Natalie don't even want to see y'all no more, but we'll get to y'all shit. So when everybody goes on this bike ride, which actually looked incredibly pleasant, last time I rode bikes was at Versailles around the gardens. It was delightful. If I could do that every day, I would. Like, I don't understand how people bike in the city. I live in constant fear that I'm actually going to be run over by a bicycle than a car in this city. They are aggressive, okay? I can't do it. Anyway, Bria and Simon stay behind to have this confrontation. Initially, I'm like, oh, okay, so the issue is that Bria feels like he's taking liberties with centering himself because he's acting out because he can't stay that long. And I'm like, no, that ain't it. And then it's, I don't behave like this at your events, so why do you behave like this at my events? And I'm like, okay, there's something underlying that. We're getting to it. Simon then says, you acted horribly at my last event. And Bria says, I'm not going to interact with people who make me feel uncomfortable, who disrespect me. I don't have to respond peacefully when people are disrespecting me. And so many people, when we were in Germany, were hitting me with hardcore racism, and you sided with them. I said, wait a goddamn minute. So you mean to tell me, this might be naive. Hear me out, follow me. I thought that for people who are self-aware, key operative term here, a part of the negotiation, the choice, the option, the whatever leads you to be in an interracial relationship is that the person who has the most privilege understands that privilege and does all that they can to make the person who's part of the marginalized group in the relationship feel safe, feel seen, feel respected. There should never be an instance where your Black partner doesn't feel safe with you there. It's a huge responsibility that I don't think Simon doesn't seem smart. I don't know if it's just because like we're seeing him on vacation and he's wasted, but Simon does not seem smart. And it's not because English isn't his first language. He just doesn't seem like a person of very much depth. So I can't see him understanding the nuances of not only Bria being a Black girl, but Bria being a dark-skinned Black girl in Germany. I don't think those things are clicking for him. And she says, like, you don't see it because you're white. Why are we just having this conversation now? Has this conversation happened before and you've seen no changes? And how do you go into an interrelationship with somebody who you have to teach these things to? I think that for an interracial relationship to work, both parties have to come into it having a general understanding of the nuances of both persons' experiences. That's in all couples, but I think it's especially necessary for people who are approaching the world from such different levels of privilege as a Black woman and a white man. So my thing with Bria is, you know that he's like this, and you've known that he was like this for years, and you still brought him around Black people. So this man hasn't clocked when people have been racist towards you, the woman he claims to love. So he's not aware, and you still chose to invite him into a space of predominantly Black people. How shitty of you. It's one thing for you to accept casual racism in your relationship if that's what you want to do, but to expose other people that should feel safe with you, Bria, to someone like that, that's not okay. I have a really serious problem with that. And far be it from me to tell anyone what their deal breakers should be in their relationships, but girl, fucking what? Are you crazy? Is everything okay in the home? And the answer there is no. So the other thing that's happening in this episode, the girls kind of have it in for Nick again. Last season, I will give you, Nick was ambivalent at best about being in a relationship. He was very openly interested in Jordan and all of the things, right? So to find out that he was in a committed relationship was like, oh. So when Tasia came, things were really weird for Tasia last season, and they were still weird for her this season. Let's pull over right here. Nick and Tasia's relationship is interesting. Even when they did, in his confessional, they showed their pictures. What were those very editorialized town and country ass pictures for? And we know it wasn't an engagement shoot. Why did y'all take those pictures? Who did you post them to? What was that for? It seems very performative. Nick is a person who, to me, seems very focused on, he's very image obsessed. And a part of me wonders if he just likes Tasia because it fits well with the image he wants to put out into the world, especially the way he describes her as sweet and kind and da-da-da, like these very mainstream kind of like, this is what makes a good woman, right? That's really interesting to me. So I will say, yes, they are an interesting couple, but the girls are on the hammock talking about how flirty he is, and if I was Tasia, I would want to know, and all these things like that. Natalie decides that Tasia is her friend, and she inserts herself and gets in the mix, and Amir puts a battery in her back to do it. I am so confused by Amir. Like, Amir, why? Why are you, in general, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but in general, men tend to like encourage women to kind of like stay out of stuff. Like, don't get involved. If it's not that, don't get involved. And sometimes that's to the detriment of other women, don't get me wrong. But why are you hyping her up to insert herself in these people's relationship where it seems a lot like Amir and Natalie are both projecting their own relationship insecurities and issues onto Tasia and Nick? So Natalie tries to go to Tasia and say, hey, I just wanted to make you aware of some things. And she says this in front of Nick while touching her hair. Why are you touching her hair? Why are you stroking her hair like that? I don't like that. It looked like she was infantilizing her in this way. And I have a thing about non-Black women infantilizing Black women. I don't like that shit. There is a way that you can show compassion and kindness and concern for Black women without infantilizing us. I'm very grown. Don't do that shit. And definitely don't touch my hair. General rule of thumb. Are you crazy? I do not like Natalie. Oh my God. So Tasia's like, girl, I'm about to go. Whatever it is, I'm about to go. And my thing is, why are you trying to pull her to the side about a conversation about her dude, in front of a bunch of people where they are about to part? And now they're going to leave on a weird note. Like, where was your, read the room? Like, no awareness at all. So Nick is like, what was that about? He's like texting Natalie. He's not blaming Natalie for this at all. And Amir's like, make sure he knows that you're not trying to be messy. And you know, it's girl code for them. They're just trying to, Amir, you never know what you're talking about. You have to shut up. You have to shut up and you have to stop. So Nick is understandably frustrated that, like, why is this narrative coming back again? Are y'all trying to do y'all want me to be unhappy? Where is this narrative coming from again? And he talks about it with Preston, and Preston is like, this is my issue in this group. It's this telephone thing. Why didn't they come to you? And why did this get back to Tasia, or where did this all come from? So it's Noelle, Bria, and Summer. Because he had addressed the conversation with Jordan and Shanice. It's Shanice, Bria, and Noelle who now seem to have an issue with how flirty Nick is. And then earlier in the season, it was Summer and Jordan who he had the conversation with. And they, wanted to specify, it's not that anyone thinks you're a predator. You just do get a bit handsy when you get drunk. Okay. So he says to Noelle, I know you want to belong, and Noelle is like, I'm going to have to stop you right there. I never said that you made me uncomfortable. I never said that this was like a personal issue for me. From my perspective, it was like they were just having girl talk. And I don't know that that was something that needed to get brought back to Tasia, to be honest. I feel like that's a conversation that needs to come from a friend, not from some bitches that she knows casually. And Nick is understandably upset because I don't understand what they're perceiving. Far be it from me to discount any woman's experience with a man. We have a lot of issues about the way we interact with each other. But I can't understand how Shanice feels like you can run around naked and a person isn't even supposed to look at you. You have your boobs inches from his face and he's not supposed to look at you. Never should a person touch you without your consent. Never should a person make you uncomfortable, but you have made a very pointed decision, even sober, to be naked a lot, and you feel like he looks too much. When Nick was all tatted up, it was, oh, I'm sleeping in Nick's bed tonight. I'm da-da-da-da-da in bed, whatever. So at minimum, y'all have all been flirtatious with each other. So why is it now, oh, Tasia should know about this? Should Tasia know about you saying that you wanted to sleep with her man because he was presenting a different aesthetic that you found more pleasing? I fully understood where he was coming from. What really pissed me off, number one, it looked like Noelle was really trying to get at, it wasn't me who went back and told him somebody needs to step up. So I was glad that Natalie at least was like, I'm the one who went back and told her. And I think that Natalie should have gotten much more smoke than she received because she was in fact being messy. That wasn't no girl code shit. You was being messy. You don't know how to relate to other women without gossiping. Now, in a separate video, I will talk about the function of gossip in female relationships. But this wasn't that. You don't know how to relate to other women. You especially don't know how to relate to Black women without this kind of shit. And that's an issue with you, Natalie. The other thing that pissed me off, Bria is the girl who cried wolf. Even when Bria is right, it's hard to get on her side because why are you coming to Nick like that? The gaslighting and the provoking, do not like. That girl has it's like, I feel like, I know we shouldn't diagnose people, but is there like a personality disorder happening here? Like, what is this? I don't like it. And I feel like Nick handles all these people with such a level of care that for him to be painted like this, it just doesn't match to me. I fully get, like, if somebody is making you feel like, I wouldn't want my man doing that. Okay, fine. But this just went a bit far. This went a bit far for my liking. I'm uncomfortable with it. And I really don't like Bria. Oh, get it off. Let it out. All this stuff like that. Somebody got to bully Bria back. That's all I know. So that's all I have for this episode. It was a lot to unpack between Bria turning a blind eye to Simon's, turning a blind eye to racism, and like, you don't feel safe in this relationship, but you're going to stay in it and also bring this person around your Black friends. And the way that people feel like they can flirt with Nick, but if Nick flirts back, then his girlfriend should know. What are we talking about here? Anyway, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, join my cult, aka my Patreon, so that I can keep this channel going. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.